my recording just decided to stop. So this is a continuation of number 2. 3 divided by 3 is 1. So I'm just left with an A on the left-hand side. And 90 divided by 3, 9 divided by 3 is 3. 0 divided by 3 is 0. So my answer is 30 degrees. So each of these angles up here is 30 degrees. And if I added those together, or if I multiplied 30 times 3, I would get 90. So that works. Number 3. Here I'm given a straight angle. And the measure of a straight angle, remember, is 180 degrees. Notice that I do not have tick marks through the angle indicators. So this angle measure is not the same as this one, and this one is not the same as this, and obviously these two are not the same. But I do know that if I have a straight angle, that all of these will sum to 180. So I'm going to take 24 degrees plus angle A plus 36 equals 180 degrees. Now, I do have two numbers that don't have a variable with them. And so to make things simpler, I'm going to combine those two numbers first. So I'm going to add 24 plus 36, and I'll just do the math right here. 4 plus 6 is 10. Carry the 1. 1 plus 2 is 3, plus 3 is 6. So this number plus this number is 60. That means I only have an A left over here, and I'm adding these together. This is called combining like terms. In other words, these things are the same because they don't have a variable attached to them. They're just numbers. So I'm combining the numbers, and I'm bringing my variable down because it says I need to add that variable to my numbers. Now I can just use the rules I've had before. This is indicating addition. I only have variables on the left-hand side, so I want to do the opposite of addition on both sides of the equal sign, so that I can only have variables on the left-hand side. These are going to end up being 0. So when I subtract 60 from 180, I'm going to get 120 degrees. So that means that the measure of this angle is 120. And that makes sense to me because it's the largest angle. These two angles have smaller measures. This angle has a much larger angle. And that does look like it is a much larger angle. Okay, number 4. The measure of angle A is equal to the measure of angle B. And when I look at my picture, you can see I have tick marks that indicate that. It indicates that whatever this angle measure is, this one is the same thing. It also tells me that this is a right angle. And I know that right angles have a measure of 90 degrees. Now this one is a little more challenging, but if you think back to the video, it was talking about if you take this ray and you rotate it all the way around back over onto itself, that the measure that you would get is 360. So that means that when I add this angle measure and this angle measure and this angle measure together, I should get 360. Because when I went around, when Rob went around like this, remember he drew a circle. and the measure of a circle is 360 degrees. So I'm going to take A and B and 90 and set them equal to 360 this time. Now, in algebra, I want to try to use the same variable if I can. Because these two have the same exact measure, I'm going to use the variable A for both of them. And notice that's what they want me to find down here. So I'm going to say that angle A plus, and instead of calling this angle B, because it has the same measure, I'm just going to say angle A again plus my 90 is equal to 360. And the reason I can do this right here is because A is equal to B. And the way I know that is because of these marks. So I'm just substituting A in for a B. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to represent these two. I'm going to combine them together, and I'm going to say these are 2A plus 90 equals 360. These are degrees. Now, I have variables on this side with numbers, but only numbers over here. So I want to not have these numbers here. So I'm going to subtract 90 from each side. And when I do that, these are going to zero out. I'm going to be left with 2A equals 270 degrees. This is a multiplication problem, so I'm going to use the opposite of multiplication and divide. These are going to cancel. I'm going to get A on this side is what I have left, or 1A, because 2 divided by 2 is 1. And over here, I'm going to get 135 degrees. So the measure of angle A is 135 degrees, and because these two angles are the same, this is 135 degrees, and this is 90. And if I'm not certain of that, I could add them together and see if they do add up to 360. 5 plus 5 is 10, 1 plus 9 is 10, plus 6 is 16, carry the 1, 360. So the measure of angle A being 135 does check out.